さすが絵だポッドキャスト Hello and welcome to Sasuga Ada's monthly podcast where I answer questions, provide a space for you to share your creativity, and let you guys in on what I'm working on this month. You can submit Q&A questions, your headcanons, and any additional messages to me via email or fill out the headcanon submission Google spreadsheet linked in the description. Please read the instructions regarding the template of the email and spreadsheet. If you have any further questions, you can click on my January podcast linked in the description as well and go to the end where I walk you through on how to submit your headcanon and questions. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into business. 皆さんのマイ設定シェアリングタイム As always, let's get started with some headcanons. And if you guys hear anything weird, don't mind me. It's going to be my cat in the background, fooling around. So, yeah. This month is very hot. I don't know about you guys, but it's so hot here where I live. And honestly, I don't blame any of you guys if you guys feel like you don't have the mental capacity to think of any headcanons, because I don't either. And this month, let me check. It doesn't seem like we have a lot of submissions either, which I'm actually kind of thankful for because it is so hot today and I really don't think I can get through a lot of them. But luckily we only have like 3, 4. So let's get started with our first one. Alright, my cat Tam is just like biting me down there, but like it's okay, we're gonna ignore her because she's still a kitten and her teeth are still very soft, so it doesn't really hurt. Okay, first submission is from Felicia. Thank you, Felicia, for your submission. It's for MHA Bakugo, and the headcanon is: when you're in a relationship with him, he would try to calm himself and bottle up most of his anger when with you. When you would annoy him and he would feel like he needs to hold back, so he'd do a weird-ass forced laugh while punching his thigh when he's sitting, or just tries to punch holes in the wall, trying to show you he is holding back and not to agitate him. Realistically, he would not be able to and would hurt himself. That's when you know you're gonna get an earful. Yes, I think so too. To be honest, I think Bakugo is the kind of guy who would, definitely have a hard time holding back his anger, even if he's like with you. And I think like there are times where he would probably just like shout out really loudly and kind of just burst out in anger and lash at you. Without really meaning to. I think it's just like sometimes he just really can't contain the anger, and then he would realize it and then apologize. But then there are times where he does, he is self-aware that he shouldn't be this angry, and it's just like, and he does try to hold himself back, and he would potentially take it out on a lot of inanimate objects. So I feel like it's best not to agitate him, and then just to be able to like read him really well. But honestly, I think it's pretty hot. I don't know. Do I have issues? Am I like strangely attracted to anger issues? But like I think it's pretty hot. So I kind of like it. Anyways, thank you so much, Felicia, and we're gonna move on to the next headcanon with, oh my god, forgive me if I can't pronounce this right, Druvika. It's like spelled with DH, so I don't know if it's like the D is silent or if the H is silent. So sorry if I mispronounce your name. Thanks for your submission, and it's for Jujutsu Kaisen Fushiguro. It's really short, so the headcanon is: you both love staying in his room, lying on his bed, him lying in your lap, and you stroking his hair. Aww, that's so cute. I think like Fushiguro is definitely like a nap guy, he would love to take nap with you, and it's just like, I think on his days off, he just doesn't really want to do anything, and all he wants to do is just lay in his room with AC, eating some ice cream or watermelon, and then just with you, and like not even watching TV. Like he doesn't want any other sound, literally just in silence, but like with you. And I think that would be like his dream date. and so I think it's really cute. Next is from Sam. Thank you, Sam. And anime is SDS. Huh. Is there an anime called SDS? Or does SDS stand for something? The character is Gil Thunder. Honestly, I don't think I know this anime or this character, so if you guys know, please tell me in the comments, because I'm a little bit clueless about who Gil Thunder is. It sounds familiar though, but let's see. Honestly, this man has been through hell and back, and we all know that despite being turned on his friends, he seems like a person that isn't into spice, but is a huge family man. Oh, that sounds really sweet. You know, the image, I don't know Gil Thunder, okay, so just like, but the image that I'm getting is like a really tall, buff man. He has like a lot of scars. You know, you definitely know that he's been through a lot, and then he would be really, you know, the kind of guy who has like a soft side and would be a really nice father and a really caring husband. And that's just like the image I get from this one sentence of a headcanon. So you put a really good image in my head, and I think I'm sold for this guy. So really love it. Thank you, Sam. Next, we have a submission from Marcy. Thank you, Marcy. And it's for BNHA Hitoshi Shinso. So, headcanon. Shinso is the type of boyfriend that'll stroke your hair while you cuddle into his side. Meanwhile, your cat's getting the same sort of sweet treatment while resting on his lap. His forehead kisses are sweet, giving you goosebumps all over at how tender he can be. He's even more sweet What's even more sweet is when you come home and catch him in a position when he and your cat are sleeping. When the cat's on his chest while he lays on his back, or when the cat curls up by his head while his hand lightly rests on the cat's stomach. It really feels like your precious baby's taken a liking to the man that he calls himself dad. Aww, that's so cute. You know the reason why I really love Shinso is because he seems like a cat guy, and I think all the fan fictions and fan arts of Shinso and Aizawa being cat people really sold them to me. It's like I liked Shinso already, like he was a really cool character, but him being like a cat guy just made it like 1,000 times better. And this headcanon really resonates with me because I now have 2 cats. But what makes me really jealous is that neither of my cats are the type that really likes to cuddle. Mainly because, well, Cotton she's a little bit of a tsundere, so, you know, she likes affection, but she doesn't like too much affection. So if you're lucky, sometimes she'll come up to you and rest on you, but like she'll only ask for like pets. And then after you're like done petting, if you just literally just put your hands to the side, she'll leave. Literally, she's like, okay, you stop petting, I'll go now. And then Tam, my new kitten, is just way too hyper. Like, you want her to like snuggle up to you, but she won't, cause she's just like playing. You'll like want to sleep next to her, and then like literally you cannot fall asleep with her in the same room as you, because she'll just start biting you and dragging you and like making you want to play with her. And honestly, I've had like the worst nights with her in my room. So I really wish that, you know, we could get a quiet cat together, me and Shinso, you know, someone that's willing to just snuggle up and sleep together. That would sound like heaven, honestly. That would be great. This is so sweet. Oh my god, I really love it. Thank you, Marcy.
Sasuga Ida Q&A.
Okay. So, moving on, let's go to our Q&A section. Yay! And messages. So, going back all the way to Felicia. The question is, have you ever felt like the thing you love doing sometimes feels forced, like you enjoy it, but sometimes you just do it because you have to? Wow, this question... I feel really called out for this question. Because... So as you guys all know, I do headcanons for fun, and it's mainly like a hobby. But sometimes when like Monday comes or when Wednesday comes and I really don't have much, definitely does feel a little forced, and it sometimes feels like I do it because I'm obligated to, because like I already promised that I would put out a headcanon on Monday or on Wednesday, and sometimes it's just like, it's not even that I don't have anything in me, it's mainly I don't want to come up with anything, you know, it's like I'm not in the mood to, and so sometimes I'm just like not in the mood to do anything, and then when I'm usually in that mood, it's really difficult to like come up with things. So like sometimes it does feel a little forced, but mainly I do enjoy it. Like even if, you know, sometimes I drag myself up and I make myself do headcanons because it feels like I'm obligated to, you know, I end up enjoying the process. So, you know, I think in the end, if you're really doing something that you love, even if it feels a little bit forced, you can still find some joy in it. But I feel like if it continues like this for like, you know, because I'm only doing this like, you know, 2 times a week, not even like every day. For some people who really pursue their passion and turn it into a job, I feel like they would feel more, you know, they would definitely feel more like what they're doing is feeling forced, and sometimes it does kill the passion a little. I feel like for me it hasn't gotten to that point yet, which I'm really thankful for, and I'm also know that I don't want it to become like that. So any time that I don't, you know, I'm just not feeling it, like the past 2 weeks on Mondays, so lately, you know, because my parents had like COVID and stuff, you know, I have been doing a lot to take care of the family and the pets. So lately I haven't been like feeling really in the mood to write like relationship headcanon. So on Mondays I've been like giving myself a break, and I don't feel bad about it because, you know, this is a hobby and it's not a job, so I don't feel obligated, exactly like super obligated, but I do feel a little bit obligated to like, you know, make headcanons, but at the same time it's just like, you know, I don't feel bad if I don't. So like sometimes doing the things I love does feel forced, especially like when I was a child, you know, when I first started learning like an instrument. At first it was fun, and then once you get to like a certain level and then you start taking private lessons, and then when you're in like a high level orchestra, and then you just like, the teacher tells you that you have to practice like 20 minutes to an hour a day, and then that really is such a passion killer. So yeah, sometimes, yeah, I hope like you guys don't ever have to feel like what you love is forced. It really does kill the mood, you know, sometimes, because like, and something that I really hate is like when I'm doing something that I love and then someone tells me to like, it's like, have you guys ever watched like Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun? Like Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun? In that anime, there's like that one scene where his editor, the really annoying one, Maeno, gives him an idea, and then Nozaki just like literally does not want to do it anymore. Like that's the feeling that I get when, you know, like I'm doing that something I like, and then someone tells me to do something, like gives me their idea and tells me to do something, and it's just like I don't want to do it anymore just because someone told me to. I feel like that's like, you know, it's like a little bit of rebelliousness in me, you know. I just like, because like when I was a teenager I didn't really have like a rebellious phase, so I feel like that rebellious phase has carried on to like my early 20s, and so now I've been like in that rebellious phase, where like subtle rebellious phase, where if someone tells me to do something, I'm like less inclined to do it because I don't like the feeling of doing what I'm being told to do. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyways, okay, next question. Sam's question is favorite Haikyuu character, and have you tried shifting? If so, does it work? I've answered the favorite Haikyuu character quite a few times in my past podcasts now, so I feel like I don't really want to answer this anymore. Mainly because it's, every single time answering this question feels a little repetitive. So if you really want to know, you can look back on some past podcasts. And have I ever tried shifting? No. Because I know what shifting is, and I've seen people talk about shifting on TikTok, but it just seems really sketchy. I mean, I guess sketchy isn't the right word. It just seems like, I don't know. It's like, have any of you guys tried shifting? Does it work? Because I don't know. It's just it doesn't seem like it works really easily. It doesn't seem like it, because isn't shifting just trying to force yourself to have a certain dream, right? Because I don't know. I don't think your brain really works that way. If you try really, really, really hard to dream about something, usually, I don't think it works like that. But some people, on TikTok, they always talk about it and say how they're able to shift and talk to certain characters, make it sound really real. So I don't know. Sounds pretty cool if you can do it. Let me know if you guys, anybody in the comments, has successfully done the shifting. I know I haven't, because I'm the type of person, what I do at night before I fall asleep is I think of plot points for my own fan fictions. I kind of think about what to write next. And in a way, it's similar to what people do in preparation for shifting, I guess. Just come up with a story. And for me, it's I'm coming up with stories and scenes in my head. And it's, I guess it's but I've never dreamt of something because I was thinking about a certain thing before I went to sleep. Does that make sense? I've never dreamt of Bakugo because I was thinking of Bakugo before I went to bed. It's I don't know. And I actually rarely dream of anime characters. Rarely. Very rarely. Most of my dreams have to do with either high school, college, or even elementary school. I don't know why. I often dream of my elementary school elementary school classmates and events that happen in elementary school. I don't know why that happens so frequently lately, but maybe it's because I'm an adult now and I sometimes, reminisce on my childhood. But yeah, so never. I don't believe I've ever shifted. So yeah, let me know if you guys shifted, because I'm really curious as to how it works and if it's actually real. Okay, message from Sam. Honestly, your headcanons get me through a lot of stuff. Yeah, it sounds odd, but it makes me come to peace knowing I can imagine them with me. Once again, I know it sounds odd, 2D characters Lamau. Yeah, I know. Coming from me who makes the headcanon, calling yourself odd doesn't, because I feel like me who comes up with these probably is even more of an odd person. But I don't think of myself as particularly odd. It's just where you choose to put your creativity in, I guess. For me, watching anime and reading manga and all of that definitely throughout my childhood has been kind of the spark to all my creativity and was really inspiring. And so I think, and as I read a lot of fan fiction that other people wrote, I realized that I'm not the only one. So knowing that, I feel like there is a community, a tight-knit community of people who don't really know each other, and I find comfort in that. And so I definitely don't find you odd, and none of my subscribers or followers, I find none of them odd, because we all like the same thing. So don't call yourselves odd when talking to me, because we're the same. We're the same group of odd people. So yeah. Okay, next we have a question from Marcy. Thank you, Marcy. Question: Hey Ada, how has Genshin been? Have you figured out things when playing? You have to have the patience to complete tasks as well as do anything and everything to learn more while you're on your journey. If you get a little more interested, I could try to explain a couple of things you can do to make the experience better. Also, if you need help, you can always just slide in my DMs. Oh, thank you, Marcy. This is so sad because I haven't been able to like play Genshin since like the first time that I streamed it. You guys do, like I mentioned, the past few weeks, I've been taking care of the family while my parents were gone, and then they came back with COVID, which made it even worse. And then at work, work is same as always. Not too busy, but not easy enough for me to like slack off. And then recently I also got myself into a shit ton of manhwas, like Korean manhwas, so I've been like binging on a lot of those. And so I've been slacking on Genshin because you can Genshin anytime, but once you start like reading manhwas, it's kind of difficult to put it down. I'm sorry. Okay. Message from Marcy. Hey Ada, how are you? I hope all is well. Thank you so much for continuously for all your efforts and what you do to give us not just quality content, but a bird's eye view into your everyday life and being acquainted with who you are. Always appreciate your authenticity and honesty, as well as your creativity. Keep it up. Stay safe and healthy. Aw, thank you. Thanks, Marcy. Thank you for always messaging me every month and giving me these awesome headcanons to showcase your creativity as well. You're a very creative person, and I look forward to what you have for me next month. So thank you everyone who submitted to me for this month's podcast, and that is it for the Q&A section, and let's move on to the next section.
さすがエダののんびり話。
So my parents basically came back on the 10th from their vacation with COVID, and then for like the past around almost 2 weeks, I've been nursing them with my uncle who came over as a guest, and they kind of just turned negative the past few days. It was pretty long. I don't know, like this variant seems like, pretty contagious and pretty long lasting compared to like the last few, because like what I remember like previously like from family, friends, and other people who had COVID is like it really just like ended within a week, but like for my parents it lasted like a little over a week, I think. So it was pretty long, but luckily they weren't, it wasn't that bad. It was just like a really bad cold. So but for like my other family friends who also got COVID during that vacation, I didn't go on that vacation, by the way. I was at home working. For the other family friends that went with my parents and got COVID, apparently their symptoms were pretty bad. And so my parents were on like the relatively like light side of things. So all was pretty good. And then today I went out with my mom for the first time since she got back from her vacation, now that she turned negative. Went out with her to go shopping, and we went to Costco, and we had like how do I put it, a really unpleasant encounter at Costco. Let me tell you this like funny story. It's not really funny, it's kind of unpleasant, but I was kind of impressed by my mother, my small Asian mother. So basically what happened was we were at Costco and we got in line for the gas, Costco gas, because Costco Costco gas is cheaper than regular gas stations. So yeah, and then when we finally got there, we realized, well, I was in the car, so my mom, well, she found that they changed the pump. So like the pump gun, is that what you call it? Like for the gas gun. And then so Costco changed the pump to something with like a better sensor. So you really have to like shove it into the gas, tank hole in order for it to work, or otherwise you can't really get gas out of the gun. And so my mom didn't know that, but so when she put it in as she normally would, and then she pressed turned it on, nothing was coming out. So she called someone over to help her, and then the worker there explained to her that they recently changed the pump, and that now that this one is more sensitive, and you really have to like push it in there in order for it to like in order for the sensor to actually work, and then for the gas to come out. And then the guy behind us, but because we're in like, so there's usually like two tanks, right? One in the front and one in the back, and then we were in the one in the back, and the person in front of us left, and so the person behind us went around us to the one in the front. And while that guy was getting gas, and then the worker finished helping my mom, he turned to the worker and he was like, oh, she really just had to like try it, it's just like, and then he was just like making a snarky comment about how, quote unquote, like, just like trying to like make my mom seem like a dumbass, basically, is, I guess. And then the worker was really nice. The worker was also like kindly explained to him, oh, the new gas gun is really sensitive, and he was trying to explain how my mom probably could have like just didn't know. But then that guy, that rude as, and I don't like to get race involved, but he was white, typical rude as white guy, old man, by the way, was just like being really rude about it. He was like, oh, all she had to do was just try. And then he made a comment about how my mom was wearing a mask, and I was like, well, my mom just, she just recovered from COVID. Of course she would be wearing a mask, because she wants to protect like not only herself but also me, who was with her, because I didn't get COVID. And she could probably potentially still have the virus carrying on her, even though she's negative, and also protecting other people. So, and then he just like made like a snarky comment about how my mom was like wearing a mask, and so I really got pissed. And so I got off the car and I was like, sir, that is really rude. And then I was like, please turn around, because he was like looking at my mom, right? He was like staring at my mom, and like he looked like he was making fun of her with his like eyes, and he was like, I just did not like the way he was looking at her. So I was like, can you please turn around and stop looking at my mom? And my mom had no idea what was going on, because like her English is like okay, but it's not great to the extent that she could catch people talking and like without focusing understand them. For me, my mom has to really focus on what the other people are saying in order to really know what they're saying and realize that they're talking about her. Me, on the other hand, I grew up with English as like my second native language, so I could listen to people and overhear people talk and really catch on to what they're saying. But that's not really the case for my mom, so my mom didn't really know what was going on. And so when she got back in the car, she was asking me, like, what was he talking about? And then she was like, why did you go out and like tell him that he was being rude? And then I told her what he was saying, explained to her why I got off the car. And then my mom literally rolled down the window and stuck her middle finger out, and he was like, sir. And then as he was getting in the car, he was like, fuck you. I was like, oh god, yeah, go off, mom. I was like really impressed by my mom, like with her like heavy Chinese accent. She just like literally went off on him. She was just like literally just went like, fuck you. And I was like, oh damn. And I was like, perhaps I was too polite. So I was like really impressed by my mom. She really knows how to stick up for herself. When she knows what other people are saying, of course. And then the worker there, the Costco worker, he was super nice about it. As we were getting out, driving out, and then we rolled down the window, and then he was like, I'm so sorry that you had to go through all that. And then like we were like, no, it's like, and then we were like, you know, you were really helpful, and we thanked him, you know, for sticking up for us. And honestly, people these days, whew, god damn. Like my mom told me how, you know, she was up in Michigan for her vacation, and she told me that when she was in Michigan, you know, she also met some pretty nasty people there, and then like usually, because like we've been in this neighborhood in the area for a long time, and so far, like in my years of being in this area, everyone has been very educated and very polite. It was very rare for us to go out and see and like kind of like go through this really rude experience, I guess, really unpleasant experience where someone was being really rude. And I'm pretty sure he was being like that because we were Asian and women. And so anyways, just really typical racist white guy that you can find in the South. Ugh. But it was really weird for us to go through that because you normally, you know, in where we live, everyone's really nice. So definitely a rare occasion. So yeah, sometimes, you know, things happen, but you know, it also, I was really impressed by my mom for her, because you know, my mom's not the type to curse in English like ever, mainly because English isn't her native language in the first place, and also we're just really polite people in general. So yeah, definitely impressed by my mom at the time, and I think I have a lot to learn from her. I should have just like told him to fuck off, you know. Yeah, so that happened, and that was kind of like the story of my day. So yeah, you know, bad things happen, but also, you know, good things happen. Also recently we were talking about this in the car. I don't know about you guys, but my family, I guess it's, you know, like a lot of Asian families, we're not religious, not really superstitious, but we're like superstitious to like a certain extent, you know. Like, cause like, you know, in Asian culture we have like a lot of like kind of like fortune telling that passes down, and then so a lot of people still believe in that stuff, and it's like strangely accurate. They say like every 60 years something really bad happens, like it's like a really bad year, and so far it's been pretty accurate because 2020 marked the every 60 year like a really bad year. 2020 was like a really bad year. So basically we kind of like believe in that kind of things. And my mom told me how I was talking to her about how like everything has been going downhill, and it's like, when is it going to go uphill? Because according to like the Chinese fortune telling and the calendar, it's supposed to get better starting this year. And my mom said that in August, this year August is going to be like the bottom pit of this whole like negative downhill kind of going like fortune for the world in general. And so she said like August is gonna be the worst, and then it should get better after August. So hopefully everything starts getting better after August, because we all know, you know, with all things that are happening, you know, around the entire world right now, especially America, it's really not great. Everything has been going downhill, and all the prices have gone up like everywhere. Everything, food, clothes, gas, like literally what hasn't gone up? So yeah, everything sucks. But I'm really hopeful that everything's going to get better starting the end of this year. So, you know, looking forward to that. Hopefully you guys will also have like, you know, a better rest of the year. Hopefully your July was not as bad as mine was, because mine was literally just stuck in the house, taking care of parents and pets and doing chores, and yeah, just really hot summer. But on a good note, a really good note is I'm going to be going to Otakon this year. So Otakon is a anime convention that takes place in Baltimore, Maryland, every year, and I will be going there. I used to go, not every year, but I went a few times while I was in high school, and then I stopped going while I was in college, and so really nice to be able to go back this year. But this year it's going to be held at Washington, D.C. I don't know, was it held at Washington, D.C. last year? Because last time I went, I think it was like 2019? Or was it 2018? I forgot. But last time I went was still in Maryland. So this year, surprised that it's being held at Washington, D.C. So yeah, I'll be going there with a few friends. So yeah, let me know if you guys are going. We might even accidentally run into each other. Don't look for me, please. You guys can tell from my usual headcanon videos that I don't like people knowing me in public, you know what I do. It's awkward. It's not like I'm ashamed of, you know, being Sasuga Ada. It's just awkward. Because, you know, like I so openly talk about my sexual fantasies, about 2D characters on this channel, and then just like meeting people who know of my sexual fantasies is really weird for me. It's a little embarrassing. It's just like, oh, this person has listened to me like talk about how I want to fuck this guy and who doesn't even exist. No, not gonna do that. Please don't look for me, but like, you know, yeah. I'm just good to let you know I'm gonna be there for like one day, just Saturday, and that's it. I don't have time to go any other day. So because I'm gonna be working and Sundays are busy days for me, so like nope. So yeah, just Saturday, gonna have some fun there. You know, really excited to go there because I haven't been to conventions in so long. Excited to see how much money I can waste there on useless things. Hopefully we'll take a look at some panels if there are any good ones this year. Really excited for the guests that will be there, and overall just really looking forward to Otakon. So yeah, I don't know, I think that's it for this month. Really don't have much to say. So yeah, thanks so much for listening to me rant for such a long time about like literally nothing. So yeah, thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next month. Stay safe and stay simping.